Hey there, it's Binky. I have a new section today that kind of talks about different things about American culture that you may have questions about but didn't understand. And this is something that was brought up actually to me last week from somebody who's English. And he was talking about how in America it's very common for the bathrooms to have less privacy, and that when you go into the stalls, there's a lot of extra space that you may notice that you wouldn't necessarily have in other countries. No, I never really thought about this. I've traveled to about 20 different countries at this time, so on different continents. So I've used a lot of stalls, and I have noticed that in a lot of the countries, the stalls do close like completely on the sides and down below, which I kind of liked because it's kind of like a studio apartment in New York City, which is really exciting. They could rent those out for about $1,800 a month, sadly, here. Hmm. But I have noticed that, but I just thought it was the individual restaurant because once in a while you'll run into those here as well, but they're very rare. And so I thought about it and did a little research, but what I did find is that there's theories for why, not necessarily a conclusive reason. But here we go. One of the main reasons is that sadly in the US, especially in major cities like New York City, people will park in there forever. So if it's closed off like that, it wouldn't be uncommon to find perhaps a homeless person making a home out of it, which it gets cold and stuff, so I'm not against it, but when you got to go to the bathroom, it's kind of not fair to be taking that over. And I don't recommend using them in Penn Station or things like that, but when you got to go, you got to go. But that's one reason. Also, it's not uncommon to see people doing illegal activities that they shouldn't be. Public sex is frowned upon in the US, but people still enjoy doing it. And what better place than a closed bathroom door? So if you have those cracks, you're not going to get away with it unless you're totally into the public viewing, which some people are. Also, sometimes people may do drug activity in there or other activities that they shouldn't be doing. Also, another theory was that sometimes people die in there, maybe from drug activities, from something else, I don't know. So it's actually easier to access the doors because of that. I guess you can either pull somebody out from underneath the big gap, just grab them by the legs and pull them out, I don't know, or crawl in there, because actually the spaces are really big. So you can see the people's legs. So I remember as a kid, like some jerks in school would lock the damn doors and then crawl out from underneath. So all the doors would be locked because some animal would crawl underneath, lock them, and then crawl back out and go, hi, I locked all the doors and now nobody can pee. You're a jerk. If that's what your life came down to in school, I feel really sorry for you. Get a hobby. But people did do it. And I'm like, you were crawling around. You probably didn't even wash your hands, you animal. But that's another reason why. And three, people were saying they don't, I guess we're not as big into privacy here in the US. And so people also don't want to encourage people liking the privacy because people aren't making money off of these bathrooms. You know, it's basically you drop off what you need to and go. So the US isn't making money. So it's more economical to leave these spaces than to completely cover it down to the floor because you're using less supplies and it's easier to repair because I hate to say it, but people in America are animals when it comes to public spaces. They're like, oh, it's not mine, so I can treat it like crap. No, other people have to use it. Take pride in everything, but no, especially in New York City, people will just destroy things just to destroy it. Oh, a new subway, let's destroy it. Apparently you never learn respect. Good luck in life. But anyway, that's just my rant there. But that's another reason why. Also, it's easier to clean. You know, you just want to get into that bathroom, clean it, and be done. So you could just quickly mop underneath the stalls and be done with it. But for somebody who's not used to it, I know, especially in Asia, especially in Japan, you know, doing certain bodily functions are, you know, it's very private, extremely private. And so everything is completely enclosed because that's your moment and nobody needs to know about that moment. And by the way, Japan, you have the best toilets in the world. Those things are like the space shuttle. They have so many damn buttons, but it's a beautiful thing. When I get a house, guess who's buying one of those? Space shuttle girl. Anyway, so I know that in Japan, everything's completely covered. So I can imagine coming to the US, it would be a shock when you see these huge gaps under the door, and then these strips on the side. You can see directly in. You really can see directly in. So, and what's weird is that if you're at work or if you're in a public space, sometimes I'll see people come into the bathroom and they'll start looking. Look, the cuts in the floor are there. You can see if somebody's in there. And that may be yet another reason why they have these things, is you can see that it's occupied. I mean, you could just do the door turn where it says red, occupied, but no. This way you see feet and you know to avoid. But what I hate, and this happens a lot, is people walk into the door and they'll look inside the crack. No, everyone's done it. You're looking for a spot, and then sometimes you'll quickly make contact with somebody and you're like, like a normal human. But no, I've seen people who just sit there and go, dude, you've never gone to the bathroom before? Do you need to see me doing it? It's like, you're creepy. But it does happen, and it just makes me really question their life. It's like, what are you doing? So yeah, that does happen. And actually, I do prefer the bathrooms. They're completely encased. So I'm in my little pod of happiness where no perverts can roam for a brief second. But basically, that's why. I know in several places around the world, in Asia and also in Europe and other places, they're a little bit more private. And so it's kind of a shock when you come to America. I mean, in the male bathroom, there's like nowhere to hide. They usually have 1 or 2 stalls to do the magic number 2, but it still has those spaces so people can still look. But as far as urinals, there's really no secret. Like, you'll go to some places and it's almost like a trough with guys lined up doing their deed. Sometimes they'll have like urinals and then like a little board halfway up so you don't see the danger zone, and so you see up. But a lot of places they don't even give guys that kind of privacy, which scares me. I've been into some of these, don't ask why, but I have been into these and I'm horrified. I'm like, you guys in America have no privacy. It's all just your business is all hanging out. Female, I mean, I'm used to a little bit of privacy in those open stalls that we have, the little cracks, but at least it's something. So I don't know what's going on. I don't know. But I guess, my male friends are like, hey, it's no big deal. You get used to it. I don't get used to it because I've heard of horror stories where other guys started looking at the other dude's junk, and that's just not right. Bathroom etiquette, people. Bathroom. What are you doing? Etiquette. Try it. But it does happen. But I guess those are basically the main reason. They don't want people lounging around too long. Economically, it's more wise than a completely closed bathroom. Also, it's easier to clean, And I think those are the big reasons in the long run, though having done research, there really is no specific reason. It's just really a cultural thing. And honestly, having lived here my whole life, you do get used to it. So, but I'm sure it's a shocker for those who aren't from here. So that's the scoop on American bathroom stalls. Fun topic. If you have any other suggestions or questions about American culture, send me a message in the comments and I'll try to answer for you. So have a fabulous day and enjoy the restroom, wherever you may live. Bye.